Okay, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the June 17th regular meeting of the Mililani Mauka Launani Valley Neighborhood Board 35. At this time, I call the meeting to order. Ask Scout PSA Troop 664 to lead us in our Pledge of Allegiance.
Please rise to the presentation of the colors. Troop attention, color guard attention. Color guard forward march. Martide march. Right wheel march. Ready, halt. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. God salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Ready, two. Color guard, forward march. Martide march. Ready, halt. Color guard dismissed. You may be seated.
Okay, thank you very much, Troop 664. Okay, moving on our agenda, meeting decorum, Vice Chair Tom Sherrill.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. On behalf of Chair Hazama and your Mililani Mauka Launani Valley Neighborhood Board, good evening and welcome. And just with all our meetings, we, as your board, welcome all your comments, your feedback, your ideas. So we just ask in terms of meeting decor that you please raise your hand, be recognized by the chair. He'll call you up to the microphone. Those that are joining us virtually, again, you use the hand signal if you want to speak, and the same process will apply. And last, we ask if possible, so we can hear as much feedback from everyone, is that if you could limit your comments to about 3 minutes or less. Okay, thank you very much. Back to you, Chair.
Thank you, Vice Chair. Moving on, we have a presentation of a certificate of appreciation this evening. So Alice, you want to go up to the mic?
Standing up. Yeah. This is your show. Great. This is to honor our outgoing Anna Hudson, who I will sorely miss. We will sorely miss her because she has done such a good job of being the other school coordinator. And we had not actually had, somebody for a long time, and Steve was trying to cover it. But in any case, we've got a certificate of appreciation for you. Yay. And I thank you very much.
Thank you.
Got a good picture.
The General's taking pictures.
Oh.
And we'll take recess and we'll take a quick picture with the board.
Oh, that'd be good. I don't know. That picture.
Kind of hard.
Oh, okay. Right. Go your story out. Good.
You should go back. Good. All right, here I come again. Good job. Great job.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Alice. And we're gonna miss you, Anna, but we'll move on. So onto I call the meeting back into order. And we'll move on to our monthly reports. Honolulu Fire Department.
Hi, good evening, everybody. These are the monthly stats for the month of May. These are for the confirmed number of incidents in the neighborhood's geographical area for the previous month. For more details on incidents and related mapping information, please visit the fire response map on our HFD website at fire.honolulu.gov under the News and Info tab. If you have any questions, please email the HFD's Public Affairs and Media Liaison at hfdnhb@honolulu.gov. So for the month of May, we had one cooking fire, 3 activated alarms with no fire present. We had 50 medical emergencies, 2 motor vehicle collisions, 1 mountain rescue, 1 hazardous materials incident, and nuisance fires, including rubbish fires outside a structure or vehicle. The fire safety tip and announcement. So we are excited to announce the launch of 2 new public data tools on its official website at fire.honolulu.gov, the Incident Trend Dashboard and the Fire Response Search Tool. The Incident Trend Dashboard gives residents easy access to 5 years of emergency data by neighborhood, including fire, rescue, medical, and hazardous materials incidents. With interactive maps and charts, the dashboard helps communities better understand emergency trends in their areas. The Fire Response Search Tool replaces the previous response mapping tool, which is no longer supported and was recently taken offline. Developed by the Honolulu Fire Department's Planning and Development Division with the help from a City and County of Honolulu Po'okela Fellows intern, these data tools reflect our ongoing commitment to transparency, innovation, and community engagement. Please visit fire.honolulu.gov/news and info. Thank you.
All right, thank you for your report. Any questions for the Honolulu Fire Department this evening? Anyone online? No. All right, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Okay, next up, the Honolulu Police Department.
Good evening, Lieutenant Romel Baisa with the Honolulu Police Department, Waiho Police Station. Reporting for the statistics for the previous month, we had about 2 burglaries in your area, 0 assault cases, 0 robberies, always a good thing. 3 UEMVs, those are car break-ins or unauthorized entry into motor vehicles, and about 452 calls for service. Safety tip for the month, believe it or not, calling 911. Please teach your children how to call, and more importantly, when to call 911. Teach them what emergencies are, tell them how to classify emergencies. Because we often hear people saying that police have more important things to do, we don't want to bother them. We suggest that you could just call 911 anyway. We have call takers that prioritize the cases so that if your call is more of an emergency, of course, we'll prioritize those, send officers to those first. One thing I wanted to highlight is our gun buyback program. Our Waiho Police Station kind of restarted or modeled this after the Department of Law Enforcement buyback program. However, ours is more geared towards the kupuna. So if you have any kupuna that no longer wants their firearms, they can turn that over to our community policing team. You can contact them at 808-723-8710. Again, 808-723-8710. They'll set up a time when they can pick up your guns, and in return, you'll receive a Foodland gift certificate or gift card, $100 for pistols and shotguns, and $200 for assault type firearms. Those are the AR type. That's all I have. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Lieutenant. Any questions for Honolulu Police Department? Go ahead, Teresa.
Hello, excuse my voice. With the buyback program, is that complete amnesty? There's no questions asked. Here it is, no biggies, regardless of the type of assault weapons, etc.
Correct. Most of the time, again, we're gearing it towards the kapuna. So most of the time, if their loved ones passed away, they're going through their belongings, that's what we see a lot of. They find firearms that are old and they don't even have any use for it. So that's the ones that they turn in.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions this evening? Any questions online? All right, thank you, Lieutenant.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Okay, moving on, Board of Water Supply, Kathleen Panui was not able to make it. She did report no water main breaks this month. So moving on to our military representative, Colonel.
Good evening, Chair and Board. Lieutenant Colonel Melander, providing an update on U.S. Army Garrison, Hawaii. So I think everybody is concerned about the wildfire. So update that I got this morning, so it may be a little more updated since then. But U.S. Army Garrison, Hawaii, Wildland, and federal firefighters continue to work to contain a brush fire located on Schofield Barracks Range Complex. The fire has burned approximately 570 acres and was contained 50% contained as of last night. So I'm sure it's more contained at this point. Air operations include UH-60 Black Hawk and CH-47 Chinook helicopters for aerial suppression. Flights will end in the evenings and resume at 08 each morning until the brush fire is fully contained. Wildland and federal firefighters continue to monitor and coordinate with state and local partners. There's no immediate threat to homes or facilities at this time. We appreciate the community's continued support and patience as crews work to achieve full containment. Training update for the remainder of June. The Army in Hawaii will continue training in East Range with Ranger and Jungle Tactics Small Arms Blank Fire weekdays from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. For the rest of the month. Aviation training will occur the 23rd through the 27th from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. And artillery, mortar, and demolitions live fire training on Schofield Barracks will occur from 5 a.m. to midnight on the 23rd through the 25th and the 28th through the 30th. The Oahu final environmental impact statement has been released or has been published for the training land retention. And to answer your question from last month, the Army is not seeking to renew the lease for state-owned land within the Mauka Valley. This, however, does not mean that the Army will be vacating the entire valley, which as of today, they won't be vacating the entire valley. The garrison team is developing some information about the surveys that have been done regarding the cleanup and the remaining requirements for returning the state leased land parcels. They're not seeking to renew. So some departure, not a complete departure, kind of as we talked about. The next job fair is going to be the 24th at Kapolei High School from 8:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. Job offers and provisional hiring the day of may occur. Applicants may go to www.himwr.com and click on employment banner to learn of openings and how to apply online. They're in food services, golf, bowling, child youth services, a lot of the fun stuff that we get to do. And then there'll be a follow-on job fair on the 19th of August at Hiliamanu Military Reservation. So as always, we appreciate your guys' support for the military here. And That's all I have, sir.
Thank you, Colonel. Any questions for the military this evening? Anyone online? All right, thank you, Colonel. Appreciate it. Moving on to board business, I'm going to defer both of the items on the board business agenda. Under board business agenda, they will be reporting in upcoming meetings. We'll move on to residents' concerns. Are there any residents' concerns this evening? Anybody have any residents' concerns? Anyone online? No. Okay, move on to elected officials report. Office of Governor Josh Green. Mel, are you online?
I am. Can you hear
Yeah, go
me?
ahead. Yes,
Can you
go
hear
ahead,
me?
Mel.
Okay. So for this month, for the governor's office, the State Department of Agriculture, they are treating palm trees for the coconut rhinoceros beetle. They're doing treatment statewide, and they are saying they're asking residents to be vigilant and to help out by checking their mulch and compost piles, because this is the breeding grounds for this CRB. And they also have a hotline. If you see or spot one, or you need help with or assistance, and it's 1-808-973-PEST, P-E-S-T, or 1-808-973-7378. So that's the coconut rhinoceros beetle. They're doing treatment of palm trees across the state. Next item is to report is that the LA Rams has partnered with the Hawaii Tourism Authority to put on a sports camp on Maui this week, and that's to promote sports tourism. So super excited for the Maui Baldwin High School flag football girls. They got to see and talk with some of the players, I think today. Anyway, that's going on this week. The other thing to report is the governor signed into law the green fee, Senate Bill 1396, Act 96, which is the climate impact fee. And that bill is to provide a dedicated source of funding for the climate change, the impacts of climate change, and to provide a dedicated source of funding for environmental stewardship. And then the last thing on my report is that the governor recently, I guess, announced his veto list of 19 bills, and he has till July 9th to veto them. And one of the bills is the budget bill, House Bill 300. And I think there might be some line items that he will need to consider because of the uncertainty with federal funding, the cuts to federal funding, as well as the projections recently reported by the Council on Revenues. So he's being fiscally conservative in that regard, and maybe considering some line items to cut from that budget. So that's all I have to report, Chair Azama. Thank you.
Thank you, Mel. Any questions for the governor's office this evening? Anyone online? No, thank you, Mel. All right, moving on. Is there anybody from Congressman Ed Case's office online? Nope. Seeing none, we'll move on to Office of Mayor Blangiardi. Carrie?
Hi, good evening, Chair. Good evening, board members, community of Mililani, Mauka. Carrie Castro, I'm the Deputy Director with Budget and Fiscal Services, representing Mayor Blangiardi this evening. I wanted to report on some exciting news. In last month, the city acquired a massive addition to the emergency services fleet. So we were able to obtain 17 new vehicles. Of that, 14 were emergency medical ambulances. There are 2 other vehicles related to our crisis outreach, response, and engagement team. And then lastly, we received a state-of-the-art, it's called an ambubus. And I don't know if some of you may have seen it, whether it's not good news, but when last month, when there was a accident with a city bus on the freeway in the morning traffic, I think there were about perhaps nearly 20 drivers that got injured. The ambulance was put into action and able to take, a large portion of those that were potentially injured to the hospital. So, thankfully that we were able to, our EMS was able to deploy and use such a vehicle. So in cases like this, it came in extra handy as opposed to, having to deploy multiple ambulances. So we're really excited about being able to add that to our fleet. And the fact that we have 14 new ambulances in itself is, again, a huge, blessing that we could add that many vehicles, again, to be able to respond quicker to and deploy faster wherever help is needed. In the interest of time, I will move on to our community issues. So following up from last month's, I should say, issues. The first issue that we had was regarding the board would like to request a representative to provide updates on the Mililani Mauka Emergency Access Road at a future board meeting. So Department of Transportation is currently working with other agencies or to coordinate a plan operations, who's going to be responsible for what. They would like to be able to finalize their plans and present to this body in a near future time. So we're hoping that in the summer, so maybe in a couple months, we'll be able to go ahead and provide that presentation. There was a second question as to whether the road will be used for city services. So the road, will be used for the bus services. And in this case, the road is planned to be used only for emergency egress only. And therefore, it will not be used by the bus for regular public transit services. And the second item was a question on the status of the Patsy Mink Central Oahu Regional Park Committee. The question was that it appeared that the committee was notified by Parks and Recreation that they will be removing themselves from the advisory group. And so the board wanted to be informed on this matter because they were not, I guess, effectively communicated to. So according to the Parks and Recreation Department, they haven't removed the Patsy Mink Central Oahu Regional Park Committee from any advisory role, as to the extent that the group was never formally recognized by the city and county of Honolulu. The CORP, which is the advisory group, was an informal group comprised of community members interested in the park's development to its construction. So recently, concerns were raised by the members of the neighborhood board regarding the transparency of this advisory committee. And I guess specifically questions were asked about the closed nature of the meetings and the lack of publicly available agendas and meetings. So following internal discussions, Department of Parks and Recreation informed the advisory committee that their staff would no longer be participating in the meetings. However, the members are welcome to continue to meet independently. And any questions regarding this matter may be addressed to the neighborhood board. So I'm here for questions.
Any questions for the mayor's rep? So Carrie, which board, regarding the Central Oahu Regional Park, which board are you referring to?
You could report it to your neighborhood board, and then I guess, yeah, because your neighborhood board brought up the question, right?
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, we're all here, so we hear your response, I guess. My follow-on to that is, does DPR want to formally form their own advisory committee?
No, my understanding is that DPR advised the advisory committee that their staff would no longer be participating in the meetings. But
Okay.
the committee is welcome to continue to meet.
Okay. Well, I don't think they're gonna meet because there's no sense in meeting if there's not a park representative at the meeting, so. All right. So a couple of things on the emergency road, I know they're gonna put together some kind of report or something. In the interim, until we get that meeting,
Yes.
who is the best person to contact if there's an emergency and that road needs to be open? Do we know?
Okay, that's a very good question, Chair. Let me get back to you with, who that point of contact should be.
Yeah, if you can,
Who in Department of Transportation
or
should be the,
whoever, I mean,
Yeah.
whoever is the contact, I think that we should, that we
okay,
should get, whether is it somebody at HPD, is it DTS, is it, because in case something happens before we hold this meeting, we're
okay,
gonna have to contact somebody to open that road for us.
okay, that's a fair question. Yep, thank you. I'll get back to you.
Okay, and then the last thing is, I've been deferring this memorandum of understanding between DOE and DPR for a long time. And we're not privy, obviously, to the draft MOU, so I don't know what's in it. But, I guess we're concerned that it's taking this long, or it's taking quite a while to hammer out this agreement between the state and the city. So is there a way that we can get some kind of feedback or update status from DPR on where this is at?
Oh, okay, Chair, I apologize. I did not realize that that was the reason why you were deferring this from this particular business this evening.
Couple months ago, or I think 3 months ago, I was told that DPR is reviewing the MOU. So, while they're reviewing it, then there's no sense in them, providing an update or for us to talk to the DOE about it yet. So I think if DPR has concerns about the MOU, then we kind of want to know what they are.
Mm.
We understand that. Like I said, nobody's actually seen the draft. So, I don't want to comment or anything on that. So,
Okay. Understood.
okay. But, okay, thank you, Carrie. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you,
Okay.
Chair.
Take care. Okay, so next up is Council District 8, Councilmember Okimoto's office. Anyone online?
Aloha, Chair Dean. This is Pua from Councilmember Okimoto's office. I wanted to, I wanted to congratulate all the new members for the board and also congratulate all the members that are continuing on. Thank you so much for your service and thank you so much for participating and volunteering for this neighborhood board. The things that I actually put there's websites and links in the chat that could be good for the community. Some announcements I do have is earlier this year, the Federal Emergency Management Agency or FEMA updated its flood insurance rate maps or firms, which determine flood zones and high-risk areas. As a result, several neighborhoods in our community were reclassified as high risk in FEMA's newly proposed flood zone map. This has raised numerous concerns from the homeowners about potential mandatory flood insurance requirements. The council members submitted an official appeal to FEMA on behalf of the residents near Waimakua Drive. This year's advocacy helped secured approximately $5 million in capital improvement projects or CIP for our district this year. For District 8, the Councilmember Okimoto requested and secured approximately $5 million of that CIP funding, which includes traffic safety improvements throughout Pearl City, Waipahu, and Mililani, with a continued push for additional crossing signage near our schools. Planning and construction of an emergency egress road for Pacific Palisades, addressing longstanding concerns about evacuation routes in light of the recent wildfire threats, and also upgrades on the district facilities and infrastructure improvements to enhance the quality of life for our residents. Last week, we didn't have any concerns, but I did get a concern via email and on the phone with a concern about feral chickens and tree roots off of Kipa Kipa Drive. Apparently these roosters are nesting in the tree and they're kind of wreaking havoc in that area. So the concern was referred to the Department of Customer Service, who actually works with the approved vendor for the feral chickens. And we're awaiting an update from either Department of Facility Maintenance or Department of Parks and Recreation, depending on where the tree is, to see, because the roots are actually affecting the sidewalk. So as of right now, that's all I have. Does anybody have any questions for me?
Anybody have any questions for Councilmember Okimoto? Yeah, go ahead, Steve.
Hi, Steve Melenders here. Yeah, you mentioned that there was an area that was designated as a prone to flood or a hazardous area. What area is that?
What I can do, I got a general update. So what I can do is I can get the specifics for you and I can email the board as soon as I get that update.
So they didn't disclose what area, they just general statement.
Right. As of right now, I got that statement this morning from one of my other staffers. So I can ask him tomorrow and follow up with the specifics if there is specific areas in Mililani that we have to be aware of, and then I'll send that to you right away.
Thank you. I appreciate the email. It is because if you're doing that, the insurance companies are going to take a look at that and potentially raise rates.
Right.
If it's just a blanket statement, that's unacceptable.
Okay. I will definitely follow up with you guys as soon as I find out the specific areas, for sure.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Steve.
I have one question. Since you brought up tree roots,
Mhm.
you know where are the road repaver contract? Where is he at now? I don't see him around. I know they said they started in October. Where are the road repaving contractors at? In Mililani Mauka? Because I don't see them around.
I'm not sure if that's something I'd have to, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, I apologize. I was going to jump in. This is Carrie from Mayor's office. So I will follow up on that for you. Since you're indicating that you're not seeing where they're working, let me contact Department of Facilities Maintenance.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure the contract was issued. They told us the contract was out and they were going to start work
Right.
They needed to start work and doing some de-routing and sidewalk stuff, but I just don't see them, around. I mean, you drive around and you would definitely see their equipment or some signage up saying they're gonna start work or something, but we haven't seen them up here, so we're just wondering where they are.
Okay, let me check with DFM and I'll report back.
Okay, thank you, Carrie. Okay. Move on to Council District 2, Councilmember Matt Wire's office. Anyone online?
Aloha, Chair. Can
Oh,
you guys
hi,
hear me?
Kelly. Yep, go
Hi.
ahead, Kelly.
Aloha, Chair, and members of the board. Kelly Anaya from Councilmember Matt Wire's office. Just a couple things. I'm sure you guys are already aware that the City Council has completed its review of the administration's proposed budget package. This past third reading on the June 4th full council. The final budget has been transmitted to the mayor for his consideration and signature. Just a couple things I wanted to highlight. From our Waiawa District 2 Police Station, we'd like to recognize Lieutenant Brian Navarez, who is also a Mililani resident. He was voted for the Honolulu Police Department's Lieutenant of the Year. I personally work with Lieutenant, and yeah, he is amazing. His service to the community is definitely a testament of what it means to lead with aloha. Let's see, a couple other things. I also previously reported on Bill 15, which provides financial relief for local families regarding the state's cesspool conversion regulations. This bill had passed third reading and the mayor actually did sign it into approval, or signed and approved it on May 28th. Likewise, Bill 29 rather, which extends the real property tax exemption for qualified affordable rental units, also passed third reading, and the mayor did approve and sign this bill as well on May 28th. A couple follow-up stuff from last meeting. Chair Hazama, you had made an inquiry about the pickleball courts at the Central Oahu Regional Park. I believe I kind of mentioned that I know the master plan or the draft master plan was currently in review, and it actually still is. So DDC, the Department of Design and Construction, said that they're continuing to work with DPR, the Department of Parks and Recreation, on the master plan and getting it finalized. They also sent over a website to the DPR, the actual DPR website regarding pickleball courts. However, when I looked it over, there is no mention of court, but I'll go ahead and put that link into the chat anyway. It does list future plans of courts, or rather parks, that they're looking to install pickleball, but Corp is not on there just yet. It also has lists of existing parks that have courts that have been converted to pickleball. And then I think Board Member Melendres had asked about the hazard pay. So I did try reaching out to you, Board Member, but I never got a call back from you. But anyway, what I was able to find out is it seems like it was probably HGEA. So that's basically the complaints that I have been receiving from as well. When I spoke to Managing Director's office, the city didn't really have anything to do with that. You mentioned that your complaints were that city employees received a letter that stated a settlement, but they never received an email. You know, it was Managing Director's office that stated that the union was advised to work with their members, and whatever was agreed upon, that was brought to Managing Director's office or the administration, and whatever that was approved, that was brought to the council for final approval. So please correct me if that is not HGEA, but those are the bulk of the complaints that I received directly to our office. And that's all I have for this evening. If anyone has any questions for a council member, I can take them back.
Okay, thank you, Kelly.
I have one.
Go ahead.
I noticed that when I was looking at some of the bills that were passed, but more at the governor's level, that the e-bike laws did not go through. And I was wondering, is there any updates? Or because I'm seeing more and more kids riding their bikes, and now the summer's
Okay.
upon us. I was wondering, what does residents do when they see something that's, a lot of the kids look under 16 as well. So
Right.
I was wondering if you had any feedback to give us.
No, I'm sorry, I don't have any updates at the moment, but I'll go look into that and I can get back to you.
Any other question? Stephen, go ahead.
Kelly, Steve Melendres here.
Yes, yes.
I thank you for that. Yeah, I was having
Sure.
discussions with some of our constituents in Mililani concerning that. Actually, what happened, they got a notice, they saw an article in Civil Beat which said that there was a settlement offered from the county, which is a fraction of what was offered to the state employees. They came back saying, oh, why is this? And then it came down to, they supposedly had an email been sent out from the county offering this COVID payout. And
Oh, the
our
email was from the
constituents don't know-
county.
From the county. So then that's why
Okay.
they're saying, where's the money? And it is because the opening statement was a settlement. You don't do a settlement unless you've already
Right.
initiated a discussion. And the constituents that I spoke to said they were never contacted.
Okay. Okay, I'll have to look into that again. Like I said, when I reached out to the administration, I was told that the unions were supposed to, I guess, get whatever agreement, I'm sorry, I'm not sure how unions work, but they were supposed to get an agreement with their members and then bring that to the administration for approval. And then whatever the administration approved, that was brought to city council. So, but you're saying that the city and county supposedly was supposed to have sent out an email to
Yes.
these employees.
That's correct.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'll have to look into that. I'm sorry. That's,
Thank you.
Oh,
I'm,
this is Carrie. Can I weigh in? Yes, so the city and county would not be sending an email to the
Right.
employees. My understanding is same as yours, Kelly, that
right.
the communication would have come from the union
Yeah, correct.
to the members.
That's what I was told. That's what I was told.
Carrie, thank you for that. On the state side, there was no union contacts. It was all through the state, through our regular reporting system. We we just heard that, thank God the unions were involved, but all our contacts were straight from our management and from the director level on down. So, but thank you for taking a second look at that, Kelly.
Chair.
Of course.
Yes.
So just to clarify, it just depends on your bargaining units, yeah? Person who is a state employee, everything was done through their union because it just, like I said, it just depends on who your union, because they do run under HGA, but they also run under UPW. So it just depends on who the actual bargaining unit was, who was contacting their members. So not all state employees got notifications from their employers. It was mostly from their union representation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, any other questions for Councilman Dwyer's office? No? If not, we'll move on. Thank you, Kelly.
Thank
On
you.
to Senator De La Cruz's office. Anyone online?
Here, Chair.
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Board. Charles Miller here from Senator De La Cruz's office. Just have a brief report. As previously stated from the governor's office, all bills have been transmitted to the governor. If the governor decides the intent to veto, the legislature can come back and override the veto with a 2/3 vote, and the veto deadline is July 9th. And then we've received calls about the H2 middle plate going northbound. So I just wanted to update that. The Department of Transportation has issued a new contract because the prior contractor was not responsive. They're awaiting a shipment of materials as that cannot be provided locally and cannot be flown in. This phase is estimated to take 4 weeks and should result in the materials arriving early July. So that's when construction should start. And that's all I have for Chair. So I'm open for questions. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Charles. Any questions for Senator De La Cruz's office? Anyone online? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on to House Representative District 38, Representative Matsumoto's office. Anyone online?
Aloha, yes, Sharon is here.
Go
Hello.
ahead.
Hi, I'm Aloha Chair, members of the board and members of our community. My name is Sharon Klaproth and I serve as the Chief of Staff with Representative Matsumoto. Representative Matsumoto is unable to attend today as she is currently attending the Women in Government Conference where she serves as the immediate past chair, continuing her work to support women leaders across the country. It has been a very full and meaningful few weeks as Representative Matsumoto recently took part in the District 38 Aloha assemblies at several of our elementary schools, Waiana, Ike, Kipapa, Uka, and Mililani Mauka. 4 of those assemblies happened on the same day, and she was able to attend all of those within an hour. She also had the honor of attending the Mililani High School graduation, Hanalani 6th grade and high school graduation ceremonies, and the Mililani High School quarterly awards where 12 amazing teachers were recognized for their dedication. With May Day celebrations and school end-of-year events, May and June have truly been filled with moments that reflect the heart of our community. And as we prepare for the next legislative session, we are actively working on new legislation. So if you or anybody in the community have any ideas for legislation they would like to see introduced, this is the time to reach out to our office. That can be done via phone call 808-586-9490, or you can email Representative Matsumoto directly at repmatsumoto@capital with an O, .hawaii.gov. Mahalo for the opportunity to speak tonight. And if there are any questions you would like me to take back to Representative Matsumoto, please let me know.
All right, thank you. Any questions for Representative Matsumoto office? Anyone online? All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to House District 46, Representative Peruso. Hi, Amy.
Hi. Hi. So it's interim, and we have sent out a post-session legislative update. But we're not going to be sending out any more hard copies most likely until November or December. So if folks want to receive our newsletter, we ask that you subscribe to the newsletter at representativeamyperuso.com. And as far as what's been happening most recently, I'll mention a couple of things in the House. I'm sure folks have read the news that we've had a reorganization. So we will have a new chair of finance. I will also be on finance now. And so that's for me, very useful because I've been paying a great deal of attention to our budgetary situation, especially in light of what's happening at the federal level. And I think that we have agreed to special session dates in August, September, and November, but it seems most likely that we'll be coming back in November, if at all. So, I also hope that folks have been following the news and looking at the proposed cuts to Medicaid and to SNAP, incorporated into the current federal budget proposal, which is now before the U.S. Senate, because that does pretty dramatically impact our social safety net for our local communities, especially House District 46. And then with respect to community issues, I did also want to mention on June 3rd, we had a community meeting out at Waialua High School and Intermediate about the CUP minor the modification of the CUP minor being pursued by Joey Hussein of Kamananui Ranch LLC. And he is proposing to put a gondola and other tourist attractions, possibly also including a restaurant at the top of Mount Ka'ala. So just as in 2019, we had a full house at the Wahiawa Library discussing this proposal, which was subsequently approved by DBP. So too, on June 3rd, was there a completely packed Waialua High School cafeteria. And I hope that folks were watching the news coverage, because I think that we will continue to see this issue discussed. We're asking the DPP to reconsider its approval and at least require an EIS. If folks have been following, they know that the traffic that the developer himself expects runs to the tune of about 1,300 to 1,500 visitors per day. So, and out on Kaukanahua Road, that and in that area in general, it will affect large swaths of this district, including Launani Valley and parts of Mililani. And I think that it's something, you know, the Wahiawa Neighborhood Board plans to ask the developer to come present, as does the North Shore Neighborhood Board. And I would highly encourage this neighborhood board, seeing as community members will be affected, to also ask for a similar kind of presentation. And trying to think of, oh yeah, and so House Bill 969, as I mentioned, it had passed through the legislative process. And now, because we received the proposed list of bills that the governor could veto, it looks like if that bill is not signed into law, it will pass into law without his signature. So for the moment, we have, you know, we will not have aquifers. I mean, we will not have landfills above aquifers or on Class A agricultural lands. So, but it does leave open this question of where the next landfill will be sited. So we are continuing to work at the legislature on ways to mitigate our waste crisis. And I'm very involved in that work. So I am open to questions.
Okay, thank you, Amy. Any questions for Representative Peruso? Amy, can you send me the contact information for that developer so we can ask them to come?
Absolutely.
Chair.
Thank
Sorry.
you, Amy.
Chair.
Yeah, thank you.
Chair.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just wanted to reiterate for Representative Peruso, I have been in attendance in neighborhood board meeting, Chair Kathleen Painui out in Waialua, including the meeting on June 3rd at Waialua High School. It's really imperative, I think, for us, of course, to invite them here, because we already have really bad traffic backups when North Shore has traffic in general. And then if Kaukanahua Road is closed because of fire or accident, we get the backup into H2, pushing almost to Costco at some points, depending. Now, if we're adding tourist traffic and there's no traffic lights and other things implemented, it's gonna just clog up that area to begin with. And these are very rural areas. And I think fundamentally, we look at Mount Ka'ala now, it makes me sad to even see, besides the military burning the side of the mountain, it makes me sad to see all these houses that all of a sudden popped up. I've never seen houses on the side of Mount Ka'ala going into Kunia, not to see gondola, you know, straps and things on the side of this mountain. I mean, I looked at the plan, it is huge. And so, you know, I reiterate Representative Peruso saying that this is something we cannot be silent and think, oh, that's the North Shore. Because many of us, North Shore is our second home when we go to the beach. We don't go Ala Moana, we go North Shore. And we already have problems with shrimp trucks and all the tourists that come and want to do the touristy food thing. Now we're going to have people coming. This is not the Swiss Alps. We don't need a gondola. If you want, go and skydive. Dillingham, right there. But Chair, I do really encourage our board to request for the attendance of this developer. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions for Representative Peruso? Anyone online? Okay, thank you, Amy.
Thank you so much.
Okay, House District 37, Representative La Chica. Trish, are you online?
Hi,
There you are.
Chair. Can you
Hi.
hear me okay?
Yeah, go ahead,
Aloha.
Trish.
Hi, Chair. Hi, members, Vice Chair. Good evening, everyone. Trish La Chica here. Chair, wanted to update you. I did ask Department of Education for an update on the Mililani Middle School parking lot. So they informed, Office of Facilities informed me that their next meeting with DPR will be July 2nd. That's all of the information that I have so far. So any other information as to why the delay, we're still waiting on that and where it's currently lagging. And then in follow up to your question from last month regarding safe routes to school, I do have a meeting with Director Sniffen and his team tomorrow morning about the program, but there is a special fund, and it wasn't until the budget this year or last year that the Department of Transportation was given the authority to be able to authorize the funding for the counties. And so this fiscal year, there is $13 million allocated to the funding. So I'm still trying to understand the disbursement and how we're going to move forward. So I'll have a more comprehensive update for you guys when you in your next meeting. Updates. I did just drop my neighborhood board newsletter in the chat. I also just emailed it. So I have a digital copy for you, but nothing much. We just shared some pictures from the May is it 30th bill signing for the free school meals bill, expansion bill, and the school bus bill. We had it at Washington Place with First Lady and Department of Education officials. We also got to celebrate. I attended all of the elementary school end of year celebrations along with Rep Matsumoto, as well as all the May Day celebrations. And I also attended both Pearl City and Mililani High School graduations as well. Legislatively, we're picking up we're starting a lot of the site visits for the committees. Education and higher education is starting. Also attending some of the other committee site visits. This morning, we did one just for my district. We did attend the agrivoltaics site, demonstration site, which is in the Lani Kuhana at the Ag Park. It's an innovation project where both solar, basically a lot of crops are being tested and planted by the Hawaii Agriculture Research Center to test what kind of crops would grow underneath solar panels. It was pretty awesome. We were there with Chairperson Sharon Hurd from the Department of Ag this morning. Working also with Department of Transportation on a bunch of district projects. So we're trying to get the exact timeline and location for a lot of the projects coming online, the crosswalks, the new rapid flashing beacons on the H1, H2 on-ramp, off-ramp areas, and Cam Highway, the bike and pedestrian lane connections. We also last week, Department of Transportation had their first meeting with the U.S. Army Garrison Hawaii to begin the conversation on the funding we received to prevent unauthorized encampments along Kipapa Gulch. So that's funding that we were able to advocate successfully for this year. Of course, waiting for the budget bill to be signed. And the construction in Mililani Mauka is with the DDC, Department of Design and Construction. We're getting some constituent assistance requests along Aina Makua. It's mostly related to parking issues all the way up through Rec 6. So the construction's from 8:30 to 3:30 p.m. But there are no parking signs posted when construction is repaving is happening. And what else? Wanted to let you know that it's also in the newsletter, but on video, and I'll have her introduce herself too. But we said aloha to, well, mahalo and aloha to Erin Conway, my office manager, and who accepted a new position with the Hawaii Wildfire Management Organization. So as of last week, I have a new office manager, Tosa Lobendan, who was previously the committee clerk to Senator Glenn Wakai. So I'll go ahead and turn it over to her so that she can go ahead and say hello to everyone. But Tosa will be assisting me with everything constituent related, scheduling with all the site visits, and as well as putting together our package the next legislative session. So say hello, Tosa.
Aloha, everyone. Thank you so much, Rep, for the introduction. Again, Tosa Lobandan. I look forward to serving District 37. If you guys have any issues or need assistance with anything, please feel free to give us a call, an email, stop by. We're always available, and I look forward to serving and making Mililani a better place. Thank you, Rep.
And that's it for my report, Chair. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Trish. Any questions for Representative LaChica? Hey, Trish, you mentioned the no parking signs and stuff. That's on the lower part of Mililani, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Aina Makua all the way up through Rec 6, that whole area. It's called, if it's, I can drop the link in the chat, but it's Mililani Mauka Phase 24B is what it's the project, the ongoing construction. It's gonna run, it started end of April, it's gonna run for 16 months.
Okay. Oh. Okay, thank you.
Casey, did you want to talk or talk about that one or no? Just kidding.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Trish.
Okay, take care.
Hey, next up, DOT, Casey.
Okay, sharing my screen here. Good evening, Chair Hazama and members of the Mililani Mauka Launani Valley Neighborhood Board. KCR from the State DOT Highways Division. And last month's meeting, I mentioned about the overgrowth of the boats on both sides of the H2 freeway. During my field inspection last week, I noticed our maintenance contractor cut back the overgrowth. Last month's meeting, there was a concern about doing a better job of scheduling our manpower resources with weed whacking the remaining overgrowth around the linear posts, light standards, and other objects that are bypassed by our machines so our landscaping looks better. This situation happens a lot within my IAEA and Pro City Neighborhood Board areas where it takes a couple of weeks before the weed whacking can be completed. We have been trying to work with the Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation to use inmates work furlough programs or work lines. In the past, we received 5 work lines of 8 to 10 guys per day, but recently we have been only receiving 2 to 3 lines per day with only 3 to 4 people. We have no control of what the prison will provide us daily, so we have to thank you for being patient with us. Also, at last month's meeting, there was a concern about some overpasses along the H2 freeway that did not have height limit signs. Talking to our traffic branch, low clearance signs is required when the vertical clearance is less than 14 feet 6 inches, but we have installed signs when the vertical clearance is less than 16 feet. I'm working with our district office to see if we can measure the clearance height for all the overpasses along the H2 freeway, and we'll report back at a future meeting. Also, last month's meeting, I mentioned the graffiti artist was hard at work, but during my field investigation last week, our maintenance crew is trying to keep up with them. Unfortunately, the graffiti artist is still out there. I noticed our maintenance crew covered up the graffiti during my June 10th field inspection, but during my quick field check this morning, the graffiti artist had returned. So I worked with our maintenance crew to cover up his new artwork. It should be interesting how many times our maintenance crew will have to cover up the graffiti artist's artwork until they stop. At last month's meeting, I apologize for accepting the unacceptable tree trimming work done by our landscaping contractor on the H2 freeway as you approach YPO off-ramp. After talking to our district maintenance crew, they had the contract go back and do a better job, which was cutting down the trees completely. And finally, at last month's meeting, there was a concern about the steel plates on the H2 freeway located on the viaduct over Waikalani Drive as you approach the Launani Valley off-ramp. I must apologize, but our district office has been very busy and is shorthanded. Plus, they have not gotten back a response. If the neighborhood boards or the public would like these concerns or future concerns to be expedited, they can email their state elected officials, Senator De La Cruz, Representative Matsumoto, Peruso, or La Chica, and your elected officials can email me or directly to our Deputy Director of Highways, Mr. Robin Shishido. If they email me, I will forward the email to our deputy. If they email directly to our deputy, please have them copy me on the email so I can help follow up and report back at the next neighborhood board meeting. Our deputy director has a lot more clout than me when asking our district office or technical branches to respond quickly to community concerns. This concludes my report. I can take any questions at this time.
Okay, thank you, Casey. Any questions for DOT?
Sure.
Go ahead.
No questions, but thank you so much for the extensive follow-up. It's very, what's the word I'm looking for? It's very promising to see the amount of work and dedication you have into just this small little area. It makes me really happy. Smallest little things. Because this has been something that we've been working on for a while in different departments, and we always get pushed to the next person, or we contact council member's office or representative's offices can do so much. But to see that you're very willing to go out and physically do the groundwork, it is very much appreciated. I will look into possibly how we can get more state corrections, Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation work lines out. My husband does work for the state in the Waiava correctional facilities, which is the primary work line that goes out in our area. So hopefully we can collaborate, and I can, pick his brain to see if there's somewhere that we can, go through to get more folks out there to clean up these little spots. But again, thank you for taking it personal as a responsibility to take care of our area. We do appreciate all your work. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions for DOT? Casey, I have a short question. You know those crossing signals for the H1, H2? Is there a timeline for that?
You mean crossing signal for the H1 into
Yeah, they were going to put signals up or something for the crosswalks.
Oh, the off ramp. You mean the
the off ramp.
Yeah, that again, that's a good example of where I try to talk to my fellow branches who's responsible, and I know they have a lot of work on the hand. This is why I mentioned it tonight, where if you talk to your state elected official who emails me or our deputy director, then I work with my deputy director and we can kind of like follow up with my fellow branches and kind of push the issue with them. That, because right now I'm the same level as them, we communicate, but I know they have a lot of work from other neighborhood boards and other demands. So this is where we have to get our elected officials in. Where
Well, I guess I'm not asking them to quit tomorrow. I just want to get a do they have a timeline for the project?
Right now I keep on every month I keep on asking them.
Okay.
And I don't get a response.
It's Trish. I'll follow up with Director Sniffen on that tomorrow, because that's something he announced when he did my talk story last month. So my understanding is it'll be in the current, but I'll get a more detailed update from him next. But it's gonna be along that Meheula Parkway H2 on ramp off ramp.
Yeah.
But I also wanna commend Casey, because I also attend the Pearl City Neighborhood Board, and he does the exact same thing every month with his updates. He's been really good. He's incredible. So really great asset to the department. Good job, Casey.
All right, thank you. Okay, moving on to our next item on the agenda, approval of board minutes for our May 20th, 2025 board meeting. Are there any comments or corrections regarding the minutes?
Chair, just a very, very minor correction on the call to order. It says Vice Chair Thomas Sherrill called the meeting to order. It's actually Chair Hazama that called the meeting to order.
Sure about that? Okay. Any other comments or corrections? Okay, hearing none. Any objections to adopting the minutes as corrected? Seeing none. Any objections? Any abstentions? Okay, the minutes have been adopted. Moving on to reports. There is none for Central Oahu Regional Park. Moving on to education, Anna? Oh, no report? Okay, Steve?
Thank you. Steve Melendez here. I'll be giving the chair's report for Mililani Middle School, the Education Committee. If you'd be so kind to go ahead and share screen. Top row is our administration there with Principal Thomas Sherrill, Assistant Principal Nakasone, Horseman, Horibata, Han, and Pang. So pleased we are so blessed to have such a great staff. If you'd be so kind as to scoot down, scroll down. These items here are naturally always important. That right there is fine. On the left-hand side, Mililani Middle School registration. To make an appointment, you can email g-238-mil-registrar@k12.hi.us or call their main number, 808-627-9000. And on the document here, it does state for students coming from a Hawaii public school, what's required, the legal documentation, medical records, et cetera. Students from out-of-state schools, military coming over, and also private schools. And then on the right-hand side, it's really good program that Principal Kardash, he was the VP of the middle school, he put together. It says, Becoming a Blazer, the summer program. They have two sets, one July 15th through 19th. The second is July 22nd through 26th from 8 a.m. till noon. They're going to be covering math, science, social studies, physical ed, social and emotional learning. It's going to be a really good bridge to help the kids come from elementary school going into middle school. And the bottom left corner, come on down a little bit more. It's really interesting. I came across this. Bottom left corner, they have for the sixth graders, there's actually 9 elective classes are great. The one on the left there is beginning art design. On the right side, it has beginning crafts. So they're actually doing hands-on work in ceramics and clay work. It's going to be great. So I would encourage the parents, call the school and see what opportunities are there. And then also they're doing summer school remediation. As you know, the main number is 808-627-9000. Now let's go to the second page, if you would, please. There is fine. The community meetings are still being held on the second Tuesday of the month. The administration office, the main conference room. The Parent Teacher Student Association, organization meets at 5, and the SCC, which is School Community Council, meets at 6. And below is the new 2025-2026 official school calendar for the DOE. States that July 29 is the teacher's first day. Then the 29th through August 1 is teachers' work days with no students. And the students' first day is August 4th. And thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on to military and civil defense.
No report.
Rex is not here. Planning, permitting, and zoning. Dana, you have a report?
No report.
Okay, Sam. Yep, thank you. None for transportation, recognition service awards. Alice, you have anything?
I would hope that everybody saw the article in the Sunday Advertiser on the Mililani, the proposed Mililani teacher housing issue. It was a good issue. I have a copy of it here if anyone's interested, but it was a good article, and I'm sorry that they're not far enough along.
Okay, thank you, Alice. All right. We have no other items on the agenda. Anyone have any announcements this evening? Okay, oh, I do have one. So for those board members who are continuing on, there is the induction of new board members on Saturday. So I understand it's not too late to sign up if you want to attend. I think it's going to be at the Philam Com Center. Yeah,
Right.
okay. Good, great. Okay, but yeah, if you do want to attend, then please let Camila know so she can sign you up in RSVP for you. Other than that, I don't have any other announcements. Our next board meeting will be held on July 15th at 7 p.m., both here and via WebEx. And this meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much.